A spiritual awakening doesn't arrive as a soft light or a gentle breeze. It often begins as a disruption. It might show up as heartbreak, loss, anxiety, or a deep restlessness that no achievement can soothe. Something cracks open inside you. At first, it feels like chaos, but that crack is actually the door to your real self. Most people rush to seal the crack because the unknown feels dangerous. They go back to familiar habits, familiar beliefs, and familiar masks. That's why the majority never survive their awakening. Not because the process is impossible, but because it demands the courage to keep walking when everything inside you wants to run back to safety. Carl Jung taught that an awakening pulls your unconscious to the surface. You start meeting parts of yourself you've denied, repressed, or projected onto others. You see not only your potential, but also your wounds. The ego resists because it feels like dying. In a way, it is dying, but only the false self, the mask, the persona. What remains is something real, grounded, and whole. Surviving this process means learning to stay present when everything old is dissolving. The first great obstacle is fear of the unknown. When your inner world begins to shift, the external world starts to feel shaky. Relationships may change, work may lose meaning, beliefs may crumble. Fear whispers, "Go back. This is dangerous. Stay small." But fear is not a sign to retreat. It's a sign that you are crossing a threshold. The key is presence, breathing deeply, naming what you feel, allowing your nervous system to settle while you keep moving forward. Presence is your anchor in the storm. The second obstacle is shame and guilt. As light floods your unconscious, you see your patterns, your mistakes, the hidden motives you've never admitted. Shame says you're unworthy. Guilt says you're beyond forgiveness. This is the point where many people turn back. They can't bear to look at themselves with honesty. Yet Jung insisted that the shadow, once faced with compassion, becomes a source of power and wisdom. To survive, you must sit with your wounds without condemning yourself. Journal, pray, meditate, speak to a trusted friend, but don't numb or run. Every time you stay with your pain, you reclaim a lost fragment of your soul. The third obstacle is pressure from others. People will notice you changing. Some will feel threatened. Some will try to pull you back to the old you. Others will expect you to become instantly enlightened and perfect. You'll feel caught between pleasing them and following your inner compass. Surviving means allowing yourself to be imperfect and evolving. You don't owe anyone a finished version of yourself while you're still transforming. Give yourself permission to be a work in progress. The fourth obstacle is loneliness. Awakening often separates you from your old circles. Conversations feel shallow, interests shift, priorities change. You may feel like a stranger in your own life. This solitude is not punishment. It's a sacred space for rebuilding. Use it. Walk in nature. Breathe deeply. Listen to music that lifts you. Create art. Write what you're learning. Solitude becomes your sanctuary where you hear your soul's voice instead of the world's noise. Along the way, you'll also face ego sabotage. As your old identity crumbles, 1,000 subtle voices will try to convince you you're crazy, you're wasting time, you're making everything up. This is just the ego fighting for survival. Don't argue with it. Acknowledge it gently and keep choosing the deeper truth you're discovering. Over time, those voices quieten and a steadier sense of self emerges. So how do you make it through when most don't? By building daily practices that ground and nourish you. Start small. Every morning, breathe slowly and feel your body. Spend a few minutes in silence before reaching for your phone. Write down your dreams, your insights, your fears. Take walks without headphones so you can hear your thoughts. Eat mindfully. These simple actions train your nervous system to stay calm while your inner world transforms. They're like handrails on a steep staircase. 1 month into these practices, you'll notice subtle but real shifts. Clearer perception, deeper honesty with yourself, less reactivity to others. You'll start to feel glimpses of peace, even in chaos. That's how you know you're surviving and integrating the awakening instead of fighting it. You're not trying to become a new person overnight. You're letting the real person beneath the masks emerge gradually. Carl Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." That's the essence of surviving an awakening. It's not about chasing bliss. It's about embracing truth. The light appears naturally as you face the dark without flinching. If you're in the middle of your own awakening right now, remember this: you're not broken, you're being rebuilt. The confusion is temporary. The fear is a threshold. The loneliness is an incubator. Everything you're shedding is making room for what you truly are. Don't rush, don't compare, keep going. And finally, know that spiritual awakening is not an escape from life. It's a deeper engagement with it. It makes you more compassionate, more authentic, more alive. When you survive it, you don't float above reality. You walk through it with open eyes, a strong heart, and a grounded soul. Stay to the end of this journey. Let each moment of discomfort become a teacher. Let each shadow become a friend. This is the path of wholeness, the path most fear, but the path your soul longs for. If this message resonates with you, share it with someone who needs hope, and take your first step on the path of awakening today.